Listen, until January 26th arrives, every week the Tekken community is going to be losing their minds with each character trailer that gets dropped.
You're listening to Personality, your gateway to the latest in gaming news.
So last week we had to deal with Leo and his official trailer announcement. I say his because, well, that's what I saw Leo as. I'm new to the fan base. Do not murder me. But that was a big discussion with Leo dropping it. It became that whole, what gender is Leo? What do they identify as? What is that? Despite the fact that Harada has said Leo is Leo, full stop. You know, Harada ain't gonna elaborate on that further because he's just trying to get the game to us rather than have these political discussions that seems to be very popular on Twitter, but really and truly it's just not that important to the character when you really get down to playing it and playing its play style. So first of all, most people were on eggshells last week by saying, oh my goodness, it's a guy, sorry for this, or sorry for saying this, I forgot that that's a girl, or sorry, I forgot that that's a they, and you know, this is the cutest favorite male or female character. So it was a lot of confusion, but despite that, Leo themselves, as the trailer dropped, showed off a lot of things that definitely makes this an interesting character to see. Now, first of all, they employed the Baji Kwan fighting style, which isn't exactly one of the most popular things, but one of my favorite things about Leo has to be that coat design. Look, Kami and Leo are rocking those red boxer type cloaks, and it's just so fluid in the Unreal Engine 5, and it looks just so great. His animations are fluid, the whole style is represented. Well, you know, obviously there are over the top additions to the Baji Kwan style, but it looks so good with the elbow strikes and the aggressive play style that perhaps Leo would bring to the table. Now he has an interesting meetup with Azucena and kind of feeling intimidated by meeting the Coffee Queen herself, but the gameplay is looking so smooth with Leo. I like the fact that he has a lot of moves that would seemingly crush mid attacks in terms of getting away. There's a lot of movement. Leo is a very fluid character, and his animations really pronounce the whole style of really building up momentum into each strike, and I just love how the presentation of this character came across, and it was delivered excellently. I look forward to seeing what more is to come when Leo gets into the game, or when Tekken 8 itself is released and the Leo players go extremely crazy with this character. I mean, I ran into one on Tekken 7 right before the trailer dropped last week, and it was an annoying experience for me because, one, it was the first time I ran into a Leo, so I had no idea what to do, but they absolutely washed me. Worst experience, but it was definitely one to look out for. And then I see now that the trailer is here and Leo looks fantastic. But of course, we've got to talk about my boy Steve. Now, Steve is one of the 3 characters that I really wanted to see the trailers for. So Steve, I finally got off of my checklist. I want to see Shaheen for some reason. I hope they do something interesting with him as a character and the moveset. And then of course we're waiting for Devil Jin. I'm pretty sure Devil Jin is going to be the last trailer that we see. I'd be pretty shocked if his trailer comes out before, because I think not only is he a significantly important character in terms of popularity, but perhaps in the plot of Tekken 8 he will be very relevant. So today they dropped that Steve trailer on us, and my goodness, there were a lot of complaints. First things first, you love to see boxing get into fighting games. They just look so fluid. I think boxers always get a good representation when they get to fighting games because it's often really and truly such a cool fighting style. There's no legs involved unless of course it's kickboxing, but the pure boxing style is just Steve out there hitting you with his fist, getting an uppercut on you, using his shoulders, and of course that unique movement that he's got in terms of moving forward, sways, and doing that all that kind of Dempsey roll level shenanigans when he gets into it. And I love the fact that of course he still has those jump punches, those Superman-esque type punches in order to get in on his opponents, but I believe Steve is looking as great as it can be in terms of boxing. So I think his play style well represented. But one thing that comes up as a major complaint, not only for myself but for others, is Steve Fox's face. Now everybody, they're calling him Steve Box, Steve Botox in the building right now, because he looks very strange in terms of his face. Perhaps we were looking for a much more slender boxer. Perhaps all of our minds we're gonna get that chiseled face, that kind of Tommy Fury vibes, but we end up getting Tyson Fury vibes from our boxer, our favorite Tekken boxer, and it does look a bit more like it could do with here and there retouching. And you know, Twitter as always, especially in the official Tekken page, and going as far as to go on the Harada's post saying, listen, it's gonna have to, it's gonna have to do a bit better this one. Steve getting ready to throw that back +1. I mean, come on. I mean, it definitely, Steve's face could do with a touching up. If it is that they could definitely come through and, maybe make some adjustments here and there before the game's launch and give him a much more chiseled face. I don't know. It just looks weird. He just looks all kind of bloated. I don't know if my boy is boxing in the heavyweight category right now and he just needed to bulk up to get to that weight division, and he really didn't care about his face thereafter. But I mean, the trailer looks great. Very fluid. Some people were saying he's a bit stiff, but I'll admit something though. Despite the fact that I was extremely hyped for Steve's trailer and I was excited when it dropped, Steve kinda looks very dull in comparison to the other Tekken cast right now. Right about now. I'm pretty sure that Steve's gets more flashy in terms of being in the hand of a pro, and when you see what they do with Steve, he looks like honestly the best character in the game, and he definitely is one of them. But in terms of the trailer presentation, he looks a little bit flat in comparison to the crazy shenanigans and possible crazy effects that we've seen attached to other characters. A guy just boxing kind of looks dull in comparison to them, but nevertheless, he looks great whether you like it or not. Steve, I'm telling you, I just can't wait. The last boxer I'm waiting on now is Ed. Ed's gonna be in Street Fighter 6 just now, and honestly, we're just gonna have the full slew of boxers in fighting games ready and prepared for you to pick up. But guys, let me know below, who else are you excited for? What did you make of these two trailers and obviously the discussions that came along with them? Let me know in the comment section below, and of course I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, stay gaming.